साई राम साई श्याम मेरे साई राम, साई राम साई श्याम मेरे साई राम, मेरे साई मेरे बाबा मेरे प्राणनाथ राम, साई राम साई श्याम मेरे साई राम, तेरे द्वार पे मैं आऊं, मुझे शांति दो भगवान, मुझे शांति दो भगवान, तेरे द्वार पे मैं आऊं, मुझे शांति दो भगवान, मुझे शांति दो भगवान, मेरे जीवन में साथ रहो साई नाथ मेरे, मेरे जीवन में साथ रहो साई नाथ मेरे, मेरे साई मेरे बाबा मेरे प्राणनाथ राम, साई राम साई श्याम मेरे साई राम। साई राम साई श्याम मेरे साई राम, मेरे साई मेरे बाबा मेरे प्राणनाथ राम, तेरे द्वार पे मैं आऊं, मुझे शांति दो भगवान, मेरे जीवन में साथ रहो साई नाथ मेरे, मेरे साई मेरे बाबा मेरे प्राणनाथ राम, मेरे साई, or in other words, God is mine, my God. Can the all-pervading, omniscient, omnipresent, omnipotent God be said to be mine, while I am but a limited individual? This question was put to Swami once, and Swami answers. Quote, the waves on the surface of an ocean have no independent existence of their own. They cannot exist if the ocean is not there, but the ocean will continue to exist if the waves are not there. The waves must depend on the existence of the ocean for their existence, but the ocean is independent of the waves. This must be clearly understood. Now a wave can say, I belong to you, because it cannot exist without the ocean. But the ocean will never say, I belong to you, because it can exist without the waves. Therefore, the appropriate thing for a devotee to say to Swami is, Lord, I am yours, instead of saying you are mine, because the Lord can exist independently of the devotee. The individuals are like the waves, and the Lord is comparable to the ocean. As told to Sri Eruk B. Fanny Bunda in 1976, Unquote. However, here the sadhaka cries out to Sai and says, Mere Sai. And not only that, he also continues crying out, Mere Sai, Mere Baba. Whereas Swami says one should not say like this. At this stage, duality exists. Sai is separate and Bhakta is separate. So, in this initial stage of attraction, adoration and worship, it is okay for the Bhakta to say, God, you are mine. When the Bhakta says this, the Bhakta wants God exclusively for him. And therefore he says, Mere Sai, you are mine, you are only mine. And gradually, steadily, the Bhakta is proceeding towards the next stage, single-pointed devotion. At this stage of single-pointed devotion, the Bhakta says, Mere Pran Nath Ram. This gives, or this explains, or this further gives a deeper purpose or proposition to his saying, Mere Sai Ram. Here Bhakta is crying out to the Lord, you are mine because you are verily my breath. You are verily the one who enables me to breathe and live. So in that context, you are mine because you are my breath. I cannot breathe without you, O Sai. तेरे द्वार पे मैं आऊं, मुझे शांति दो भगवान. Go back to the Love is God session, first part, Love for God, where it was explained in 2016 that there comes a point, a phase in everybody's life where the whole world seems to be vacuum. Those whom they thought to be their bosom friends or kith and kin, there is a sudden vacuum in those relationships as well. Nobody seems to be our own. So, in this world, when the Bhakta finds all relationships proving to be saying to him, what will you bring when you come to me, and what will you give when I come to you? The whole world of selfish beings, thus tortured and tormented by the samsara, miseries of the samsara. The Bhakta is rushing towards the Lord and cries out in all agony, Tere Dwar pe मैं आऊं, मुझे शांति दो भगवान. In life, a jiva runs from one person to the other person in search for happiness. A stage comes in each jiva's life, mostly in every jiva's life, where he or she is left with no one, just no one to even express their feeling, their pain. This is the worst stage in human being's life, where There is not a single human being on the earth to whom one can share their pain. One can pour out their feelings, their pain, their agony. Leave alone rescuing or helping them out of their agony or the pain, there is nobody to even empathize with them in their state of agony and pain. It seems that the whole world has deserted them. In an old movie song, a poet wrote, "वक्त इंसान पे ऐसा भी कभी आता है, राह में छोड़ के साया भी चला जाता है." A phase comes to a man in his life when it seems even his shadow has left him and is not prepared to go along with him. In such stage, who else but Swami can take over such a bhakta who is in utter emotional distress and bestow Shanthi or peace to the bhakta? Brother Arvind Balasubramaniam writes in his blog on one devotee whom we all know, Amiya Deshpande, who is one of the greatest singers, who sings along with Ravi Kumar even today. The story goes like this. It was during a session at the 39th annual State Conference of Sri Satya Sai Seva Organization in Odisha that a young man got up and asked a question. Story of Amiya is following. Before that, this is a prelude leading to that story. A young person puts up a question: how can we love and worship God when we are ourselves in such pain and need? We talked about pain and miseries in one's life. So this boy is asking, when we ourselves are in pain, how can we worship God? Is it not true that we can focus on spirituality only if our needs are met and our pains are relieved? Brother Arvind writes, even as this question was asked, I began to ponder about it. It is so natural that this question arises. In fact, Swami Vivekananda is quoted to have said, "Don't teach spirituality to a hungry man." Roti, kapada or makan, food, clothing and shelter are recognized as the basic needs without which one cannot think of one's mental and emotional needs also. That is what the famous Maslow's hierarchy of needs also states powerfully. That human beings are motivated by a hierarchy of needs, starting from the lowest at the physical level to a higher level. This theory is represented by a pyramid. Since this is an audio talk, he is unable to show you the pyramid of Maslow's theory of needs. We'll try to present this pyramid in description of this talk while uploading this talk in YouTube. Basically, the hierarchical pyramid of needs flows from bottom to top in a pyramid shape. At the lowest level, physiological needs are the physical requirements for human survival, which include food, water, clothing, and shelter. Next comes safety and security needs, which include personal security, financial security, health security, and a safety net against accidents. Once these are fulfilled, a human being looks towards the next level of need where love and belonging needs are covered. Okay. By being in a group, a family, having friendships, etc. And when these are fulfilled, then a human being looks towards his esteem needs. That is, his esteem, his desire to be accepted and valued by others. It is only when all these four needs are met and achieved that a person contemplates self-actualization, which is defined as achieving one's full potential. Different individuals perceive this fifth need differently, and it can be expressed as professional excellence, being a perfect parent, being a magnificent artist, and so on. So we get back to the question, how can we love and worship God when we ourselves are in such pain and need? If we dwell a little deeper, we realize that loving God as a need works in a way more mysterious and subtle than all the five needs mentioned by Maslow. And to make that clear, it would be apt to narrate a life experience of Amiya Deshpande. The story starts with a ill-fated Sunday morning bhajan session in Kadugudi, Whitefield. After losing his seat in Swami's school in 8th grade, Amiya had tried hard to get back to school in 11th grade. Since that had also not happened, he had tried getting admitted into BCom course at the university. Even that did not happen. So, he enrolled in the Seshadripuram College of Bangalore and graduating in honors with a BCom degree. Amiya got employed at HP. He also became a Sevadal volunteer at Brindavan, Whitefield. He has been blessed with a wonderful voice, and it is not surprising that he soon became a lead bhajan singer there. Every Thursday and Sunday, when the Bangalore Sevadal got the opportunity to lead the bhajans, Amiya was in the forefront. Henceforth, we will just call it as Ami. Okay? On Sunday, somewhere in the summer of 2001 or 2002, Ami started singing the bhajans Yug Yug Ke Avatara, Sai Rama, Sai Krishna, Sai Baba. We know that bhajan. While thousands at Sai Ramesh Hall were waiting for Swami to arrive for darshan. Midway through the first speed of the bhajan, a very senior Sevadal member came rushing to the bhajan group from Swami's Trai residence and said, "Stop singing that bhajan right now. Swami is very upset hearing it." Then the Sevadal member walked up to the leader of that bhajan group named Utpan and asked, "Who sang that bhajan?" Utpan folded his hands and said, "Swami, it was a mistake. Please forgive us." So it has to be seen that As a leader, one never points out at his team member for any mistake. He takes upon the mistake as a group on himself and says, please forgive us. This is a very important point for all leaders. Swami's face seemed to get a look of disgust. Chala tappu. Big mistake to sing that bhajan. Don't sing that bhajan. Then came that evening bhajan session. Swami took Aarti and left. And when Swami had gone into Trai Brindavan, Ami was called by the then warden of the Brindavan hostel. Are you a former primary school student? He asked Ami. Yes, sir. Ah, I see. Tell me, during the bhajans today, did you sing Apashruti? I don't think so, sir. Did your voice crack when you were singing? No, sir, definitely not. I don't know what to say. You should not have sung that bhajan. Swami says that it has been composed in bad taste. No harm meant to the bhajan composer. We don't know who composed this bhajan. So, he knows the feeling and aspiration with which a bhajan would have been composed. This clearly shows that though the tune and the expertise matter for humans, for Swami it is only the feelings and motivation that matters. A bhajan is not necessarily pleasing to the Lord just because it has a good tune and it has been rendered wonderfully. The feelings with which it is composed, the feelings with which it is sung are most important. Ami nodded to the warden and who continued, you don't sing anymore in the near future at least. Pray hard. Ami was choked instantly. He felt that he was writhing for some air to breathe. That was when the death blow was landed. Don't sit with the bhajan group even. Sit behind. Meet me in my office later and we shall see what else need to be done. It was only Ami's eyes that spoke profusely in the language of tears. Having been thrown out of school and denied admission in the college, this was something worse than a nightmare. And it was happening in broad daylight. As he walked out, his mother accosted him. Ami broke down again, telling her what had happened. Oh my God, why is Swami pushing you farther and farther away from him? Mother exclaimed. The Brindavan group, being the perfect team, felt Ami's pain. All through the day they sang bhajans like Ek Baar Shama Karo Sai or Tere Siva Prabhu Koi Nahi Hai, representing the pain of Ami. Ami sat through the bhajans crying and crying. After a while he went to meet the warden in the office. And we are not getting into detail. Further hurdles are there for even his continuing as a Sevadal, and then after a lot of hurdles he at least comes back as a Sevadal. It's a detailed thing. We are not covering that. Next Sunday bhajan, Ami resigned to Swami and with pain in the heart sat somewhere behind in the Sai Ramesh hall for the evening darshan and bhajan. Hundreds of thoughts came up, but among them all, one thought stood out. Come what may, I shall not give up. He decided that he would spend every day in contemplation and prayer to Swami, just the way he had spent the past few hours. He promised himself that instead of coming for darshan just on Thursday and Sunday, he would come for darshan every day of the week. This meant a good travel of 20+ kilometers one way to Whitefield. As the bhajans continued, Ami joined in the chorus wholeheartedly. He was crying and craving for Swami like never before. This echoes that feeling, Tere Dwar pe main Aaun, Mujhe Shanthi do Bhagawan. After few bhajans, the light on the stage came on. That was an indication that Swami had come out of the residence and would be arriving shortly. Sai Ram Ami. It was an excited shout that awoke Ami from his singing spell. Through his tears, he saw the blur of Utpan. Come fast, you have to sing. Apart from blurry eyes, his thoughts also became blurry now. What was happening? Come right now, come before Swami comes on the stage. Ami could not believe his ears. He got up and realized that he had not worn his Sevadal scarf. He turned and ran towards his room. That was probably one of the fastest sprints of his life. Wearing the scarf, he came rushing back and came to the front. And the next moment, his breathing was taken away completely. His breath was taken away. The mesmerizing form of his beautiful Lord glided onto the stage. Even as Swami sat on chair, he looked at Ami and indicated with his eyes that he should sing. Ami's heart exploded in inexplicable relief, but he did not sing that evening. At that point of time, singing did not matter. Swami seemed to have overcome his upset, and that was enough. Swami received Arati at the end of this session and returned to Trai Vrindavan. And he wanted to know, did anything happen in Trai session? So he waited. And what he heard later in the evening relieved him. And Arvind has not mentioned exactly what happened in the Trai session. Then Ami was subsequently given duty of crowd control in Sai Ramesh Hall. Crowd control meant that he should be sitting in front line during darshan to ensure that nobody jumped onto Swami and fell forcefully at his feet. On the face of it, this appears like a wonderful opportunity for darshan. But it is actually not, because the volunteer would have to sit facing the devotees. His back would be to Swami and he would be actually missing darshan when Swami was closest to him. Interrupting here, he recalls his same position as a Sevadal seated at the front in 2001, August. And doing the crowd control, and he could not look at Swami. And later, when his Delhi Sevadal work was over, he got the first line one day in the queue, and he sat and he just took his offer letter and then he showed it to Swami. And then Swami said, he is told in, stupid as he is told in English, Swami, I have got an opportunity for a job in Muscat. Bless me. Swami, reminding him of his mother tongue, replies in Tamil, Aha, Romba 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 Sandosh, and places his hand on his head. Coming back, Ami, that was a very familiar voice which Ami had heard. He knew that Swami was right Swami is calling him as I, A, not Ami, I. He knew that Swami was right behind him, but who was calling out who? I am calling you only, Swami said and gently tapped him. Ami turned out in a flash and went up on his knees. Who told you that I told you not to sing? Swami's face was serious. Ami knew that revealing the name could lead to repercussions for the warden. He just said, please forgive the mistake, Swami. Hey, that is not your mistake. You did not do anything wrong. You should sing. Swami gave him a broad smile. Can I take Padanamaskar, Swami? Swami agreed and Ami kissed his feet reverentially. Swami then started to walk away. He walked a few steps, stopped and turned. But so don't sing that bhajan, okay? Swami nodded and Ami nodded and he has never sung that bhajan ever since. There are many bhajans like this. Swami has strongly objected to being sung in his presence. The reason in most of the cases is that it has not been composed with the right feelings and taste. This Swami only would know, being present within the composer and witnessing his thoughts while he composed a bhajan. Ami nodded and sat back in silence. Now, this throws up that question. Have we found the answer? The question was, how can we love and worship God when we ourselves are in such pain and need? The answer is that it is only in pain and need that we love God and worship Him the most. A poem fits here. I asked for strength and God gave me difficulties to make me strong. I asked for wisdom and God gave me problems to solve. I prayed for favors and God gave me opportunities. I asked God to grant me patience and God said, no. Suffering draws you apart from worldly cares and brings you closer to me. I received nothing I wanted, but I received everything I needed. While Maslow's hierarchy of needs follows a progression when it comes to material needs, there is a radical break when it turns to spiritual needs. In his later years, Maslow explored a further dimension of needs while criticizing his own vision on self-actualization. Then he said, the self only finds its actualization in giving itself to some higher goal outside oneself in spirituality. Thus, Maslow moved out from self-actualization and he said, ultimate achievement, ultimate need is self-transcendence. There is a long article on pain and God's role written by Shivanandaji Maharaj. For now, he is skipping that. Maybe he will post it later in the group. Now, Mujhe Shanthi do Bhagawan. Next, Mere Jivan mein Saath Raho, Sai Nath mere. We are coming to the climax in the devotee's journey. Stay with me in my life, my Lord, is a profound expression of devotion. It reflects this devotee's total surrender and desire for divine guidance through his journey of life. This prayer acknowledges God not as a distant figure, but as a constant companion, Jivan Sahara. Devotees here believe that without his divine presence, life is filled with darkness or spiritual ignorance, avidya. Seeking the Lord's presence is a plea for the light of wisdom. And this line often precedes the request for help in crossing the ocean of life and death. Paar karo meri jivan naiya. Okay. मेरे जीवन में साथ रहकर मेरे जीवन नैया पार कराओ साई. What happens when the Lord is your eternal companion, giving up himself to your plead, मेरे जीवन में साथ रहो? The bhakta reaches the stage of realizing, I am yours, which Swami said in the initial answer to a question. I, the ego, has been transcended, and merger of individual self, smaller I, has happened with the universal self, Atman, Brahman. Now the Atman is now yours, Brahman. Both have merged. The river has merged with the ocean. The salt ego in the river has merged with the ocean, never to regain, never to the state of its salt taste ego. Mere Sai, Mere Baba, all this duality has gone, and now Sai, if you may call him, has become verily the breath of the devotee who has realized God. His 20,600 breathing a day is now perfectly aligned with God, who is his Prana Nath. The bhakta started with the adoration, worship stage of duality. And now he has reached the ultimate stage of Atmanivedanam, self-surrender, where there is nothing other than God. உள்ளது 40. Ramana's 40 verses starts with the first verse, thus. நாம் உலகம் காண்டலால் நானா ஆம் சக்தி உள ஓர் முதலை ஒப்பல் ஒரு தலையே நாம ஒரு சித்திரமும் பார்ப்பானும் சேர்ப்படமும் ஆர் ஒளியும் அத்தனையும் தான் ஆம் அவன். It translates in English thus: because we see the world, accepting one fundamental that has a power that becomes many is certainly the one best option. The pictures of names and forms, the one who sees the cohesive screen and the pervading light, all these are he who is one self. So, Mere Sai, Mere Baba, Mujhe Shanthi do, Mere Jivan mein Saath Raho, all that has culminated into the Lord not only being with you, you have merged. Go back to the Krishna that coming near you, and Krishna merging in you, you are merging in you in one of the milestone bhajan which he had explained to you. Remember that bhajan? He is not going to tell the bhajan now. He is really now our Prananath. Without our spelling it out or without our thinking about. Prana is the last and subtlest thing to leave one's physical existence. we have merged with Sai wholly now. If we were to be away from him for a second, it is like our prana not functioning for a minute, which means we will die. So now you have merged in Sai so wholly that till your death, that is, till your prana leaves, he is your prana. And he waits for you when, if at all you have not attained realization, he waits for you as your prana sakha to breathe through you the moment you come back to the earth in the next birth. And ultimately to relieve you of this journey of punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam. And where once you die, never to be born again. How a bhajan takes us through the entire journey of a bhakta from disaster, pain, to ultimate freedom, ultimate merger. Jai Sai Ram.